I would like to call the August 13th Quarry Monitoring Committee meeting to order. Call to order with roll call.
Alderman Barber.
Here.
Member Swanson is excused. Alderman Hassan is excused. Member Tenhaken.
Here.
Member Pins.
Here.
Okay, roll call. Is there? Yes, there is. There's a flag here, so we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. I'd like to introduce a new member to our panel. That would be Planning Manager Regulo, who is now officially the Planning Manager for the City of Franklin.
See, you've always been here.
Thank you.
So this is our new member, Planning Manager Regulo.
Thank you.
That means he'll probably be leaving us and giving it to somebody else, but you know, these things happen.
Big promotion.
But we might as well at least acknowledge it while he's still here and congratulate him. So,
Thank you.
on behalf of the committee, congratulations. It was a good move. Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll motion it.
I'll second that.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. The vote is 3-0 with 2 absent. Okay, is there any citizen comments who would wish to speak? Go up and bring some voters in.
Bring him in.
Hearing no citizen comments, or seeing no citizens stand up, I will close the citizen comment period. Okay, business, action to be taken on any item. We just have our 2 reports this month, so it should be a good meeting unless the Quarry gets something naughty.
Everybody's got a copy in front of you, so I can just kind of page through it.
You can go through it. I don't have my copy, but okay, there it is. Planning Manager, Regulo.
So for the second quarter of the year, so that covers April, May, and June, we completed 6 observation events on April 9th, 16th, May 10th and 22nd, and June 6th and 28th. We only saw the street sweeper in use during one of the 6 visits, but it's just a look at the draw when we see it out there. And as typical, we saw very minor dust for trucks exiting to the east on Rawson Avenue. That's kind of the normal mode. It wasn't excessive by any means. During this second quarter, there were a total of 17 blasting events. 10 of the 17, or 59% of them, were confirmed by the Stantec monitors. We have 2 monitors that are co-located with 2 of the 4 that are installed by the quarry. And then getting into the blast data itself, there were 2 blasting events measured over the vibration of 0.3 inches per second for this quarter. One of them was on June 10th, the morning blast, which was just over at 0.038 inches per second, and one on June 14th at 0.475 inches per second. Neither of those blasts had any complaints, and year to date, 93% of the quarry's blasts were below the level, which is in conformance with the PDD for the site. So 85% have to be below the limit. For the air overpressure, there was 1 blasting event that had a reading of over 123 decibels, and that was on June 6th, a reading of 125. Year to date, 97% of the blasts are below the PDD level, so they're operating within our limits. Blast complaints, there were a total of 7 for the second quarter. 1 complaint regarding dust and gravel on the road, and 6 of them regarding vibration. Of the 6 vibration-related complaints, all of them corresponded with actual blast events. This quarter, 3 of them requested that their location not be identified, so we don't know if it was same location or multiple locations, and 3 had their location identified. One of those households did complain 3 times this quarter. For the non-anonymous complaints, all 3 of them were south of Drexel Avenue. And then a summary of the blast complaints. For May 10th, there was 1 complaint. The highest inches per second was 0.19, and the air overpressure was 114 decibels, and the complaint was from the south, and the blast was in the southern pit area. They just stated that the blasting was clearly felt. For the June 20th event, the highest readings were 0.273 inches per second and air overpressure of 112 decibels. 1 complaint was to the south, 1 was a confidential location. Blast was in the southern pit, and comments were blasting, and the house shook and rattled very loudly.
Same address as the previous one.
Yes. And on June 26th, there was 2 complaints. The highest readings were 0.143 inches per second and 111 decibels. 1 complaint to the south, 1 confidential complaint. Once again, the blast was in the southern pit. Comments were blasting and that the entire house shook, windows and shelves rattled very loudly.
The same address again.
And the address that's listed there is actually where the highest
Where the
readings
readings
were.
were.
Yeah.
Okay, not the address of the complaint.
So
Okay.
we had all
I'm gonna walk
all
by
the
that
complaints were from
neighborhood.
the same. All the identified complaints were from the same location this quarter.
Monitor, okay.
And same household. June 27th, highest readings were 0.11 inches per second and an air overpressure of 119 decibels. 1 confidential complaint. Blast this time was in the northern pit. And they stated the quarry blast shook the house, rattled windows, and shelves loudly in the house. But all the blasts with complaints were well below the permissible levels. For the 1 non-blast related complaint we had this quarter, the city received an online complaint on June 25th regarding gravel at the intersection of Rawson Avenue and South 27th Street. They stated dump trucks full of quarry gravel when stopping at the traffic light eastbound at 27th and Rawson are dropping gravel in the street and in the intersection. I would submit that this is a quarry problem, not a city problem. During my inspections in July, so after this quarter, because this was at the very end of the month, I did drive, at the end of my inspections, drove all the way out Rawson to 27th Street. And you could see some gravel-like debris in the intersection, but you couldn't tell where it came from or how long it had been there.
Yeah.
And I didn't see a significant difference in the amount of debris on the road on the 2 times I was out there.
I was curious about that because I had seen 2 dust-ups on the Franklin Facebook site, the group site that people talk about, what's going on in Franklin and all that good stuff.
Yep.
And one was about loose gravel on Rawson,
Yes.
up that area. Another one was a big dust-up about actual asphalt that was coming off the trucks. And I don't know how asphalt does because that's pretty sticky stuff and it doesn't generally bounce out of a truck very easy, but
I don't know. And one of the times that I was out, I saw the street sweeper actually coming back to the west on Rawson Avenue, more towards like 35th Street. So that was way farther west than than I usually saw them. So it appeared that the quarry was paying attention further to the east.
yeah.
So
How far does a street sweeper usually go?
Roughly right up to the We Energies building. When this complaint came through, I just called the truck to go up and just go that far, check it out if it's there to
Yeah.
grab.
So usually you just go up to
Whether
like
it's ours or
48th
not.
or 46th Street or
yeah,
something.
and I followed a few
Yeah.
trucks too, so I wasn't seeing, limited sampling. I was there 2 discretely different times, didn't see any gravel coming off the trucks, but
Well, that's, gravel is something because, well, even asphalt too, because these are independent operators who are hauling out of the quarry,
Yeah.
and they're just buying this from y'all and hit the road. Unless there's a warning that y'all can put out to the drivers about being overloaded, where they may have a spillover of gravel on the turnoff, or
Sure.
make sure their tailgates are fully
Yeah,
latched.
so we check that all
Yeah.
the time. It
I
doesn't happen
imagine.
inside. Usually if there's a gate open, it usually happens inside the mine because they're asphalt ramp. As soon as they make that hill and they go to grab one gear, the gates open up, and it usually happens inside by us before it even gets upstairs, even get by the scale. So it's
Yeah.
operator error. I mean,
That way you get to sell to them twice, load them on twice. Okay.
So, I may continue to do an occasional truck out there to see if there's anything else. We'll see if there's any complaints in third quarter. In terms of the blast events, like I stated, there were 17 blasts in the second quarter. 4 blasts had complaints. All 4 of them this quarter were blasts that were before 12 noon. 2 blasts had 1 complaint and 2 blasts had 2 complaints. 3 of the quarry blasts that had complaints were in the south of the quarry. 1 was in the northern area. Like I stated before, there was 1 operational complaint about gravel from trucks, which is not as typical. 2 blasts this quarter did have more than 1 complaint. 2 addresses this quarter have complained more than once this year so far, year to date. 1 address had complained once in the first quarter and 3 times this quarter, and 1 address, there were 2 formal complaints in the first quarter. So it does appear that we're having some consistency in the people that are complaining. And like typical, there were no complaints west of the Root River, and none of the non-anonymous complaints came from east of 51st.
Very quiet over there.
So, you can see it then on the drawing itself. It'll have the dots showing what blasts were where, and the colors code up. But please remember that 3 of the complaints this quarter were requested confidentiality, so we won't have a complaint location on the map. But the blast with the complaint will be on the map.
Yeah, right. So it'd be hard to know if any of the complaints came from the new Viridian development over there.
We wouldn't
that are
know.
the neighbors.
I think last quarter, or is it fourth quarter? We haven't gotten a couple from over there,
Yeah.
but we, with the 3 this quarter, we just don't know.
Okay. Well, Yusuf
It's a
and I-
higher number of confidential ones than we have received in the past.
Yusuf and I had talked quite a while ago about getting together on a day of an announced blast was going to be happening, and we would just walk the new Viridian neighborhood usually it's about midday that it's happening, and just see what it felt like, walking the area out there, and if people were alarmed at all. But we never have gotten together to do that. So
When I'm picking my random days to go out do the unannounced inspections, all of them I've picked on a day when I've gotten a blast notification in the morning, just to see if it corresponds. And I've been trying to go out kind of in the middle of the day, because that's when the blasts typically have been, just before or just after noon. I haven't timed it quite right yet, but I'm trying. I'm just kind of curious, because I was inside the pit for a blast a couple of years ago.
sure.
But just to time it and be out either to the south or to the east.
having seen the inside of the pit, it's very speculative about them getting the safety conditions just right to actually push the button to make the blast. It's just like everything has to line up. All the operators have to be out of the floor of the quarry, and it's interesting.
Given the total number of blasts for the year, and then those 3 or 4 that have gone over, what kind of percentage is that?
They
know
have
we
to be
have
under 85%, and for the air overpressure, the decibel reading, we're at 97% for the year. And
So how does that rank up with the 85%?
we're
deviation?
well within limits.
Oh, okay, so.
And then for the vibration, they're at I'm sorry, it was 97% for the air over pressure decibels and 93% for
Okay,
the
so good.
vibration.
So they can be 85.
Yeah, they're
So-
well within the limits.
Okay, that's the figure that is the most important.
Yep.
Sometimes, unless there's something that where houses start caving in,
Right.
that would change.
Viridian has very thin concrete walls in their basements, 5.5 inches.
Paper mache. Anyway, okay, are there any further questions about the report? Like to receive the report and place on file and entertain a motion?
I would so motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
There are 3 ayes, 2 absent. Motion passes. Okay, now we come to the Payne-Dolan summary.
Yeah.
You need it?
No, I just included in the packets the data we received every
Anything you need
month
to?
from Payne and Dolan. So this is the same that of the reporting period. So I don't have anything to add.
Oh, okay.
So,
Take a moment, let everybody take a look at that.
And the official numbers are Stantec readings are Pandola.
The Payne and Dolan.
Payne and Dolan, yeah.
Summer being the construction time of the year, it makes sense, of course, that the quarry is busier mining and
Sure.
selling more gravel and asphalt and everything. So.
And in fall, when they try to get stockpiled up for winter.
Nobody wants to work in the snow down there in the quarry.
Well, they do it. But-
They do it.
So I'm looking at the
Looks like you've
February,
been pretty busy all year.
We have been busy. Microsoft is really,
on 4/18, I'm looking at the PPB of 1.775.
1775.
February 18th.
Oh yeah, that's well within limit.
Okay.
Yeah.
0.30.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed during my announced inspection last week that the stockpiles were a lot less than I saw last summer when I was out there.
it's terrible.
You mentioned Microsoft. There's a lot of the product going down to the Microsoft development in the Pleasant Prairie area? Yeah. Okay.
They're getting us pretty good. I've never seen Quarry heavily utilized for it. So.
Is it Racine Quarry? Was it 4.5 mile road and Highway 30, whatever, in the
Yeah,
Racine
around
area? Is
there now.
that still an active quarry up there?
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yeah, we got an expansion.
Been by there, really.
2018.
That's a deep one. I mean, 'cause you're going across the road between. It's
Yep.
like way down.
Yep.
And what about the one on Highway 36 out there?
Oh, Cretex?
Yeah, where they got it going, a conveyor going across the road and up
Yeah,
there.
that's Cretex's sand and gravel operation. That one stretches. It's probably about a mile and a half
Really?
away from where the operation is versus where they're actually mining.
Mostly sand?
That's all sand and gravel.
Yeah.
It's a similar operation off of Loomis heading towards Burlington. There's where they have a conveyor belt go under the highway and over quite a ways, like a quarter mile.
There's a few of them around.
Yeah. Must be money in it. I don't know.
Gotta be something.
Diamonds. I know there's diamonds in
Who
there.
was our guest tonight? I don't know if we've met.
I'm Kyle Bosch.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Are you
Clint's.
replacement to anybody or just?
No, so Mike Sandy, if you knew him over the years.
Yeah.
So Mike was the operations guy, so I oversee the commercial quarries for Payne and South.
And where's my friend Clint?
Clint, it's his anniversary today,
Oh,
and he had
fine.
another meeting in Madison for another location that
Fine.
he had to be at, so.
So his wife got short shift and she didn't get an anniversary
He was supposed to be
celebration.
home a while ago.
That anniversary is every year.
They do come every year, don't they? This might have been this might have been a Hawaii one though, who knows?
I don't know what number it was.
Okay, coming back to the agenda, are there any further discussion points on the Payne Dolan report or data?
No, good.
Has there been any complaints so far this quarter?
Yeah, complaints we receive, we save it from the second quarter, and then we transmit that to the data to Kristen for the report. So
Obviously, there was at least one big one
Must have been.
that affected my house. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm interested to see what those numbers are. It was obviously the south side of the quarry,
Yeah.
that south corner there, so.
Did you complain?
No, no. Because it didn't knock anything off the walls,
Yeah.
and I had no cracks. So when you take it to a court, how do you not?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to place this the static report on file.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That means 3 ayes, 2 absents, motion passes. Now for the meeting schedule and discussion.
yes, for the next meeting, well, actually, all following meetings, Alderman Hassan let me know that he's not able to do the second Tuesday of the
Okay.
month. So
Because that's the.
that's Board of Public Works.
Yeah. That's,
So then we can schedule for this fourth Tuesday of the month. Will be October for the third quarter. October 22nd, if that works for you.
You need to get the information.
August.
We can't do it until the data. We usually get the first week of the week of the next quarter, and then we have the report and the graphics. I think that's mine.
Because is the next report July, August,
It's
September,
September,
right?
yes.
Yeah, okay. So
So
I will provide you the
Is
data
the-
by
is-
the end of September or October 1st. And then
and I usually can get the stuff from the Quarry usually that first week.
Yeah, Brianna usually prepares
Yeah.
that first week, I think.
Yeah.
So that later.
The 22nd is the fourth.
yeah,
The fourth.
Did you say 2nd or 27th?
October 22nd.
2-2 or 2-7.
2-2.
2-2.
2-2. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's early. Okay. I think we can because I have to get that to you. How many days in advance?
The week before, so October 14th or 15th.
I'll let my GIS guy know. That's usually the hardest thing to get the drawings in because then it has to go through our reviews too. So as long
This
as
actually works out better for me. I'm going to later because I've been having this meeting consolidate with sometimes meetings at my parish. I'm involved with some of the commissions and parish council, so
So the later week works for you better than
works
too as
better
well?
for me. Yeah.
So do we want to consider making it the third?
or is there a board meeting?
Yeah, the problem is that at the first and third Tuesdays, common council.
Yeah. So the third week, well, if it's on our Tuesday, yeah.
We'll have to import some more days in the year then. That's all there is
No,
to
I
it.
can. I should be able to make the 22nd work as long as I
Okay.
get the Quarry and your complaint data.
Okay.
That's not
I got no
council.
Brianna.
No. Council is the 15th. So.
Okay,
Could
that
we
all
do the
works.
29th then? That'd make it better.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because could be also the 29th if you.
We want to say it this Okay, yeah, that would give us a little breathing room.
29th
That
is
okay?
fine with me.
Is that okay? Okay.
That's okay with the membership.
Sure.
Just because I know I have to get it to you, so it can get published by Gail.
Okay.
Okay, with that it being the
And-
next. oh,
Yeah, just forgot to mention. Will you be able to provide the scope of services?
I will let Mike know that we need to work
Okay.
on getting that together because
Okay.
that'll be the last meeting of the calendar year.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
the city is now into its budget cycle, so
Should we assume the same budget for next year?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I would feel safe with that. That's what I push for.
No, they're cutting things. Everything is getting cut on the agenda.
Well, I know we had an adjustment up this year, but we hadn't had one.
Last year, I think.
We hadn't
was,
had one
yeah.
in quite some time,
Right,
so I'm
right.
assuming that it's probably be a while before we get an
Right.
adjustment.
Well, let's hope it stays the same.
Yep.
That would be the good thing.
Yep.
That's called no inflation.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to adjourn now that we have the next meeting set.
That's so moved.
I'll second it.
There's been a
Let's take
motion
turns
made
back.
and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Hi,
Aye.
konnichiwa.
Anybody opposed? Motion passes. 3 ayes, 2 absent. We are
Thank
adjourned.
you.